Hey, welcome back to Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Wildlife. This is a documentary, 2023, so it's pretty new. It came out this year. It is an hour and 33 minutes long, and it's a documentary biography of two people you may or may not have heard of. But you definitely have heard of some things that are in relation to them. You ever heard of Patagonia or Esprit or North Face? You ever worn the clothes? Well, this is a story of Christine and Doug Tompkins. However, it's mostly about Christine and the work that she continues to do. When at the very beginning of the film, we discover that Doug has passed away. And what follows is a history of where they came from, how they met, what they did for a living, and what they did to literally change the world. Even though you may not know it. It's not the kind of thing that necessarily shows up in day-to-day news, but these are ecologists. These are aggressive ecologists. These are people who, in some cases, have been seen by certain governments as eco-terrorists. Let's just say there are certain members of the Chilean government who suspected they were Americans, very wealthy, millionaire Americans who were doing whatever they could to subvert their government, which was a dictatorship. Probably still is at this time. I'm not really sure. Everything from trying to just manipulate their government, smuggling American bison, doing whatever they can to mess with them. It's a little dramatic here, a little bit romantic, but it tells the story of them and a number of different people. Yvon Chouinard, I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that. Sorry. Back in the 60s, they were basically just really wealthy people who climbed mountains and surfed for months at a time because they could. Millionaire in 1968 went a long way, much further than it would today. But yeah, they just sort of lived the life where, like, hey, you know what? We like to climb mountains. Let's create a clothing lines of jackets and stuff like that. Let's do that. We like climbing mountains. Let's make clothing for this thing or the other that they like, because they could just do that. And they could take 9 months off. There's nothing to take off from if they don't have a 9-to-5 job like the rest of us, or most of us. They could just take 9 months off, climb a mountain, live in an ice cave, and then build a world-spanning corporation based on a clothing line. Over the years. It's the Tompkins and Chouinard and a number of other people coming and going. When they launched one of their clothing lines, they just had the Grateful Dead play at their launch event, as one does. So what we get here is a lot of archival footage of Doug throughout the years. Photos and images of just all the people in their lives that help them share their vision and share the goals and the efforts they took to change, to preserve, I should say, conserve the land that they discovered that was, one, beautiful, untouched. They were some of the first people to ski down some of these mountains, as far as they knew, but at least in the modern era. I don't know if they had skis centuries ago, but in this sense anyway, a lot of it was untouched. It was undiscovered, or unexplored for the most part. And when they fell in love with that part of Chile, or parts of Chile, whatever they were traveling there, they decided, you know what, let's buy a few million acres, as one does. And normally it'd be like, oh, look, rich people just buying up land and just probably selling it for a profit. No. In this case, you can actually say millionaires did something good. They didn't just turn it around and sell it to people who are going to dig up the forests or mine for copper or create entire giant lithium pools. Well, those exist certainly in Chile, but by a great margin they exist. But there are other certain untouched parts of Chile throughout South America, Latin America, that they were able to buy up. A lot of it, they had farms, they had just different areas to just keep it from harming the creatures, the wildlife, the trees, the land, to keep it from being touched by those who would develop it, who would deforest it. And you get to see what it looks like, what the world is like, as it's been transformed through deforestation over the years. These people worked to put a stop to it, and it's while they'll be the first one to have told you that, when people question them, you're just buying up land, and what are you going to do with it? You're just going to probably sell it for a profit later on. Well, they said no matter what they do, I don't know how much land they buy up in order to preserve it, it's still a losing battle. Even more is being destroyed than they are preserving at a constant rate. And what you get to see is this duo, this pair, this once romance that was unlikely to happen, let's just say, at certain points of their lives when they finally cross paths at a critical moment in each of their lives. It changed not only their lives, but changed the world of Latin America, South America, forever. And it's not only that, but toward the end here, even in 2022, the owner of Patagonia sold the company he donated the company. Patagonia is a part of South America. Donated the company to preserve as much of the land as they could, and this does make a difference. While we see a lot of Brazil and everything else being gutted through deforestation, parts of Chile, I hope I'm not saying that in a pretentious way. I'm hoping it's Chile, not Chile. Is it Chile or Chile? I don't know. Different people were saying it different ways in the film. It's great to see something being done that is good with lots and lots of money. And the work isn't done. Even though Doug is gone, Christine is still doing her best effort to work with governments, as suspicious as they are and as greedy as some may be in different parts of the world. She's doing everything she can. You can see the devastation that it took a toll on her life, her willingness to live when she lost him. It's a pretty passionate relationship there. I mean, you lose somebody you love, it's never, just moving on. What am I going to, I'll just have to find something else to do, someone else to love. No, I mean, not many of us will ever just blow off the loss of the love of their life. But in this, you see moments that shake this woman to the core, and you get to see what she does as a result of her loss, and how she takes it further and accomplishes things that may not have ever come to pass, if he had lived even a little bit longer. His life, he almost technically gave his life to make the life of this planet that much better. That's no small thing. I think they appear in like Time's 100 most influential people in the world, in history, maybe. I don't know. That's a different documentary, but yeah, I say it's something. If you care about ecology, you care about preservation, conservation of this world's resources, and climate change and everything else. Yes, climate change. For some of you, I know that's a scary and confusing term, but This is worth checking out. I was surprised. I thought it was just gonna be like, oh look, more mountains and trees, and just gonna be beautiful flyovers. And yes, this is absolutely gorgeous. It is beautifully shot. It is, 2023, so it's got the most modern cameras and film equipment, and it looks gorgeous. It's definitely worth checking out, even just for the shots. If you didn't have the sound on it, still would be amazing to look at. But this is a historic record, a romantic record, a biographical record, and it's one of those rare moments when you get to see millionaires go, oh, you know what? They did something they didn't have to do, something good. Yeah. In a world where everybody's trying to get the most back for their buck, these people bucked that trend. It's pretty impressive for people I didn't really know about until now. So yeah, I'd recommend it. There's a lot of documentaries, like I said the other day. There's a lot of documentaries on Disney Plus, National Geographic, but I think this is one of those other ones that's worthwhile checking out because it hits so many different aspects with nature, with history, and with the world. So let's pick tomorrow's episode.
274.
274. What do we got? 274. Oh, okay. We got a series. And it's a series I've actually seen before, so it's going to break my run of things I haven't seen. But we're going to watch the pilot episode at least. I don't know how long it is, but this is a show that was on ABC for a good long time. We watched the first episode of the spin-off a long time ago. It's been on this list for a long time, but hey, we're going to be watching Once Upon a Time. It'll be weird revisiting that. It's been, this was really popular for a time on ABC back, I couldn't tell you what year it was, but it was well over 10 years ago. So Once Upon a Time is what we're watching next on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.